when thou retrievest the book from its cradle, you must recite the words, Clatu verata nictu.
Clatu verata nictu, okay.
Well, repeat them.
Clatu verata nictu.
Again!
I got it! I know your damn words, all right?
All right, guys, let's go over some details for the Army of Darkness chainsaw. Now, I have my bar here, and this is the bar that I use for my Ash vs. Evil Dead chainsaw bars. When you sand it, you want to use different grits to get that stuff off, and you want like a mirrored finish, because that one really had a mirrored finish, and this one isn't 100% the correct bar they used. They actually used an Oregon bar, and the price of just the bar alone was 60 to 80 bucks. The only difference is there's an extra little circle right here. That's it. And 60 to 80 bucks for a bar without a chain, while I could get this one for about 40 bucks with a chain. I can do without the little circle, and that's not going to bug me. If I ever run across one of those bars for cheap, I may go and buy one. But yeah, you got to mirror finish it, and before you actually do the blackening paint. Notice I didn't really take much off of here because that's all going to be black anyways. All right, so let's go over the grill here. Now, this is just a standard grill. You can buy it on eBay or Etsy for most people. Make sure it's not the Ash vs. Evil Dead grill that some people sell, because they are thinner than these. The Army of Darkness one was thicker. What you want to do if you get a thicker one, let me show you an example here. Okay, here's a shitty cast that I did a long time ago. You notice it's kind of squarish on the edges here. You want to give it a nice rounded look. Now, I could have gone a lot further and really made it funky, but I didn't want to do that. I really don't like the funky grills. So I was very happy with this. The black that I used is a flat black. I didn't use a satin, didn't use a super glossy finish. And I plan on putting the silver detail into it. That grill is mostly black. It's not really silver very much. So that's what I did with this one. I haven't finished the paint, of course, so just to let you know. When it comes to the top, I do have videos on how to make the top. Let's go over the different details from the Ash vs. Evil Dead chainsaw top from the Army of Darkness. Now, if you notice, you'll see a bunch of these lines in here through the paint that I didn't sand down nice and smooth, because that top is kind of rough. So that little extra detail into it, I left. Another thing, you'll notice these little spots everywhere. Now, when it's sitting in the gravel at the beginning of the movie, before the wise man picks it up, you'll notice there's spot welds. Now, I emulated the spot welds from when it's sitting in the gravel. The other side, I really couldn't get a nice view of that from anywhere. So I just kind of somewhat copied this side. And I didn't actually use a welder. What I used to make that was gel glue. Now, you want a good Loctite. Don't buy that cheap bullshit, because sometimes it ain't even gel. And just emulated it where I could before I did the paint. Let it dry and then did the paint. One thing you'll also notice, from when it's falling in the pit and Ash gets it with his nub, I tried to emulate the brokenness as much as possible over here. It's just sitting here. It's not sitting level. I just really want to show you guys this. So I want to emulate that just to have that look. Going to the front, when it's sitting in the gravel, there is a gap here. This top does not go all the way down to this body line. There is a gap. It's from right up here across and up. It's not down here all the way like Ash vs. Evil Dead. Now, when it's falling through the pit again, you will notice this top is extended. Now, just to let everybody know, there's always been an argument then that chainsaw top was flush in the back. It's not. It's actually extended. It doesn't have such a severe angle here at the top like Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's a little more subtle. So what I did is use my original template, made my top, but made it just a little bit shorter, and then just chopped a little bit off of here. And also, when he's decapitating the first deadeye in the pit, you will notice there's a big crease here separating the side from the top. I didn't want that look, so I decided not to go with that look of that specific chainsaw, because it looks like crap. I didn't like it. The back is open. That one, the back is completely open. And notice my shop is filthy as shit. Sorry about that. But anyways, notice the top is a darker color than the side here. What color did I use? I went over the color I used for the body already in past videos. It's a satin apple red. It's a Rust-Oleum paint. It's a 2X spray paint. And the other one is a Rust-Oleum paint, a 2X paint, you know, Rust-Oleum 2X cover. And it is Colonial Red in satin. That's the one I found the closest to use to get darker than the actual sides. And you'll notice the handles hanging down, and it has the hole. When it's falling through the pit, it has the hole. So there's some details right there. Once again, if you're doing the chainsaw bar, you got to get super glossy. Use multiple types of sandpaper to get it nice and shiny and get those deep scratches you're going to put into it out. When you're doing the top, if you want to make it look as close as possible, just leave a few of the scratches on it when you're sanding it down. Use that glue to do the spot welds if you don't want to actually spot weld it. Also, you leave it open in the back, and it is a longer top than if it was flush against the body. It is extended just a wee bit. So it looks like that. It's not sitting exactly where it's supposed to, so just let you know. The back is open. You can, you know, cut that up to make it look close as possible to screen accurate. And the front isn't touching that body line. Basically comes down to where this wants to curve up. So there's that, guys. Hope it helped you guys out. Oh, and the grill, remember, get the thicker grill, round the sides out, and use a flat black paint. Or you can do your silver first and then put your black paint. Whatever you want to do. You can have this hanging down. When it's actually sitting in the gravel, it's actually like this. Not like this, but you know, against the body. But I want to have it hang out because this pull string is a piece of shit. It still retracts, but it always stops right there. So there's that, guys. It's very simple to do. It's a lot easier than doing an Ash vs. Evil Dead chainsaw top. Just because you can leave the back open. And you can leave it kind of funky. You definitely want your curvature right, but you can leave the little imperfections in the paint if you really want to. Little gouges here and there. Gives it more of that beat up look that we remember from Army of Darkness. So, oh, and one last thing. You see this hole here. When it is sitting in the gravel, there's a flathead style bolt right here. Of course, the handle is going to go over here. Haven't drilled that out yet. But yeah, there's a bolt sitting there, so I got to put it on there. So if you guys are trying to do an Army of Darkness chainsaw, I hope this helped you guys out. This one is very, very specific in detail. There's some other parts that I've already made that I haven't shown you yet, but I will show you guys that when I get to a video just centering around that specific part of the chainsaw. So until next time, you guys stay groovy.